Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So I'm having a little bit of deja vu. I think we've gone back into, 2021, when Dylan Mulvaney got the Bud Light partnership, or whatever they want to call it. And there was a whole massive backlash and a huge boycott that Bud Light have never recovered from. Now we have another brand, a high-end fashion brand, Versace, that has appointed Dylan as a spokesperson for women's clothing. And that's the issue. This is obviously Versace. Versace was founded by somebody who was gay. This is high fashion, a very LGBT friendly arena. But Dylan wasn't appointed as a male model, no. Dylan was appointed as someone who represents women's high fashion clothing. And we can't help but see it as nothing but a big fat insult. A big fat slap in the face. Just like when Nike decided to appoint Dylan to advertise sports bras. Dylan is neither an athlete nor a woman. So why on earth would a brand appoint a man to advertise women's clothing, sports bras?
So pretty, I've never seen you in that dress.
Sure you have, honey. This is the one that I always pull out when my relationships start to get a little serious.
Update, I think this is the best I've ever looked. I'm pretty sure headed to a Versace event. And yeah, I think this is it, right? Okay. Love you.
So this is an actor. Let's not forget, this is somebody whose acting career was coming to an end or was failing because of the pandemic. The slot on Broadway dried up because of their woke policies where they closed down everything and ruined everything. And Dylan's acting career suffered greatly. So this was a gay man who then found another hustle, found a new way to get attention, and has been receiving attention ever since. Not just attention from cosplaying women, from mocking women.
Because on his very first video, Dylan Mulvaney comes out and he says, okay, I've been a woman for 10 hours and I've already cried like 3 times.
Day one of being a girl, and I have already cried 3 times. I wrote a scathing email that I did not send. I ordered dresses online that I couldn't afford. And then when someone asked me how I was, I said, I'm fine, when I wasn't fine. So. How'd I do, ladies?
And he just keeps performing all of these caricatures.
These are the days of girlhood.
I am Eloise. I am 6. I'm a city child. I live at the Plaza Hotel, which is huge and wonderful and très elegant, especially at Christmas.
And then these brands deliberately decide to overlook a real woman, a supermodel, whoever, a female athlete, and they decide to appoint a man who is cosplaying a woman as their spokesperson. It's absolutely insane. And that little thing that Dylan does with the walking in heels, struggling to walk in heels, that's not cute. A female model who was hired by Versace would know how to walk in heels. But Versace thinks that it's appropriate for a male to be a spokesperson for a brand that's targeted towards women. How is that going to inspire women to get that dress? Seriously? Being skinny and damn near emaciated is not something that's going to turn a man into a woman. But those of us with common sense, those of us who have eyes, that is not going to get us out there buying this dress. Unless you're some Dylan fan or whatever. Okay. I mean, why would people be a fan of this person unless they really believe this ideology and, buy into the story that Dylan presents?
Dylan, wait, real quickly, Alyssa, before you go, I think people need to hear this. When you say you came out at 4, I don't think people understand all the time that sometimes a little child will come to the parent, which is what you did, and said, I feel like I'm in the wrong body, what I am on the inside. Because so often, sadly, it's misassigned to schools and someone's trying to change someone. Oftentimes this happens before the children are even out of the house.
Right.
I think that's such an important point.
Thank you. And I think that I knew how I felt. I knew even my sister tells me a story of like, I went into the girls' bathroom in kindergarten, and a teacher had to pull me out because that's where I thought I was supposed to be.
God, Nancy Mace wasn't your picture teacher.
In 2020 or 2021, I decided that I'm a woman now and I'm going to do this days of girlhood. How does that even sit well with people? Megyn Kelly said, Versace, you are our new Bud Light. And obviously that's the first thing that came to mind. But of course, you know, the average American is probably not buying Versace every week. So, you know, unlike Bud Light, that was a brand that appealed to the average American. People bought their beer, you know, every week or whenever it was, every weekend. And Bud Light would usually be a part of that. So it hit Bud Light hard. Now, apparently Versace have been struggling, and this is a move to help them revive the brand. This is to help them revive their brand. Okay. Yeah. Again, you're targeting these clothes towards women. That is not going to make women say, ooh, I want to go out and buy Versace now for my next event. Why? Especially the dress that Dylan is wearing. I have hips.
Yes, I'm sure they'll have the ladies flocking to buy those overpriced Versace garments. Well done, Donatella.
I couldn't care less who you are or how you identify. That's your business. But I do have a problem when companies slap women. That's exactly what it is. A huge slap in the face. Buy Versace. Glad you can afford to go broke. Didn't you get the memo? Hashtag 2025. And there are women who, they may not be buying designer clothes every week, but they do buy Versace perfume. And I've heard some of them saying they're not going to get the perfume anymore. Or anything Versace. And then somebody in response to Megyn Kelly said, this woman is so delusional. Ain't no MAGA Republican buying Versace. And other people were saying, boycott. Adios, Versace. The libs who wear Versace could give a rat's ass. No need for me to boycott, I can't afford the bleep anyway. But why do these brands continue to do this? Why do they continue to think that this is a good idea? So John Idle, the CEO of Capri Holdings, which is Versace's parent company, claimed on an earnings call that the drop in sales was attributed to the brand leaning too hard into the quiet luxury concept, as well as reducing the number of offerings for its lower priced merchandise. While elevating the assortment, we believe we removed too many unique Versace statement items. We significantly reduced our offerings of products at entry luxury price points, which the CEO insisted impacted retail sales. So to fix the problem, the CEO reportedly said Versace will try to achieve the ideal balance of fun and elegant assortment and introduce a wider offering of product to appeal to a broader base of luxury consumers. It sounds like they want to introduce more affordable items. So it is going to be up to the regular person then to decide whether or not they want to support this brand. So in doing that, they really should be aware of the Bud Light effect. They have decided that they're going to take a huge risk, because it is a huge risk, to appoint a man who identifies as a woman to be their spokesperson for their women's items of clothing. Yes, we know this is Versace, high-end fashion. It's not the most conservative brand. We know this. But even so, what it comes down to is you've chosen a personality who was known for cosplaying women, who has been accused of mocking women, and that's why Bud Light were boycotted into oblivion.
Last call for Bud Light. It takes a deep dive into how the beer lost its position as America's most popular. The author of the book and former Anheuser-Busch president of operations is Anson Fredericks, who joins me now here in New York. Did Anheuser-Busch take on a political role? Why did they do it?
It wasn't just Anheuser-Busch. You saw tons of companies over the last couple of years taking on a political role. It was Disney, it was Target, it was Nike. And unfortunately, they were really coerced in doing this. It was a combination of the Biden administration pushing companies to get more involved in politics, doing the business the Biden administration couldn't get done through the front door of politics. They had to do it through the back door of companies. Companies like BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, pushing a very aggressive ESG, DEI agenda, and a bunch of consultants as well that pushed all companies to get involved in political issues, whether it was asking asking companies to defund the police like Salesforce did, asking companies to overturn election integrity laws like Coca-Cola did. And then as we saw with Bud Light, unfortunately, this was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back when they got involved in sort of the transgender issues with Dylan Mulvaney.
Has Bud Light recovered?
They haven't at all. I think that's one of the most interesting parts about this story is that they lost 30% of their customers, and millions of customers, billions of dollars of shareholder value over the last couple of years. They continue to shed customers. The stock price is almost off 50% from when they made this this partnership with Dylan Mulvaney.
I mean, if the polls regarding men and women's sports is anything to go by, this is a huge risk that Versace is taking, and it is more than likely to backfire. We're not talking about sports here, no, but we are talking about somebody who is male, doing something that is meant for women. I mean, I personally wouldn't want a dress that Dylan Mulvaney is known for. That's the dress that Dylan Mulvaney wore. I don't see people going for that. I really don't. Even a man, was he going to look at his wife wearing that dress and think, oh yeah, that's the dress that Dylan Mulvaney was wearing. Oh, great. I think that looks really nice on you. I just don't see it. And I think a lot of people are no longer pretending to see it anymore because most of the country is getting back to reality when it comes to these matters. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Like, comment and subscribe. Take care of yourselves and God willing, I will see you in the next video.